Hello there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Today is Sweet Friday. You're going to be making a dessert to close out the week. Sorry for the technical delay, you guys. We had a technical difficulty kind of all week long. For any other streamers out there, you guys finding that the webcam quality has gone down? I'm not really sure why that is, but if it's looking fuzzy to you, I'm sorry. All right, so today we're going to be making something really easy. This is a protein-packed cookie. I'm going to be making my sesame macadamia nut cookies, and they're so simple and so delicious. So let's get into it. I had to prep a little ahead of time because I didn't want you to wait. This is one of the cookie batters where you want to make the batter and then let the batter rest in the refrigerator for like 25 to 30 minutes to really firm or chill up. And that's going to create a really nice, moist and delicious cookie once it starts baking. But this is not a cookie recipe that you can kind of make the batter right away and then bake the cookies. It really does require that chill time. So let's start with the first ingredient. I need to make a vegan egg. So one of the things that people start to talk about when they go plant-based or vegan, or they're trying and experimenting with vegan and vegetarian recipes, is what do I do for eggs in baking? What do I do here? This is a really it's a really important thing to consider. There's so many different options though. It's unlike eggs where there's just really one type of option in the animal eating world. With a vegan or plant-based world, there's a lot of different options for egg substitutes. So for egg, one of the most common substitutes is to make a flaxseed egg. So let's talk about it. I'm going to use flaxseed, and these are whole flax seeds right here. These are golden flaxseed. These are super duper high in fatty acids, omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, really, really high in ALH, really good for us, for our skin, for our heart health, for our brain development. We actually can get more fatty acids out of flax seeds than we can out of krill, shrimp, or salmon. A lot of people supplement with these things or eat salmon and fish, especially wild fish, because they want to get all of those great nutrients. The truth is you can actually get so many more from flaxseed. Now, if you don't have flaxseed, then you can use other things. A chia seed will work just fine. And so many other very similar products like this. Arrowroot can also work. Tapioca starch can also work. Flaxseed and chia are very similar though. So let's focus on this. You want to take flaxseed and then you want to pulse them in a food processor, or you could buy this already pre-ground. That's how I do it. I buy it already pre-ground, and this is what you want for a vegan egg. It's called Flaxseed Meal. And you guys, it's simply flaxseed that's been made into a flour. Really, really simple. You want to take 1 tablespoon of this flaxseed meal, and I'm just going to hold up a spoonful on a plate so you can see what it looks like. It's literally just the flour or the meal, pulsed version of the whole seed. So here, side by side, do an overhead so that you can really see this with me. You can see here are the flax seeds right here. Those are the whole flax seeds. And right next to it, right here, we have the meal or the flaxseed flour. It's usually called flaxseed meal. And we want just 1 tablespoon of this in a little cup with 3 tablespoons of water, which I've done. That's what this is. And if you let this sit for 5 minutes, it actually gels up. So this has been sitting for 5 minutes, and just take a look. Do you see this consistency? It's kind of jelly, just like an egg white would be. That's what we want. So this is activated and it's ready to go. So make that first, let it sit for 5 minutes. And now we can talk about the next ingredient. I want to actually showcase that this recipe is gluten-free. It's dairy-free. It's vegan. It's plant-based. It's vegetarian. It can be salt-free. It's refined sugar-free. It's all these things. That's why it's healthy and super delicious. It's clean eating, folks. Seriously. All right, so we're going to use, instead of regular white flour, we're going to use oats, and we're going to make our own oat flour. So I want you to take 1.5 cups of oats. I'm just going to show you an example here because I already made the batter. I'll take 1/2 cup of oats, but you're going to use 1.5 for the full recipe, and then put them in a food processor and pulse them up. Pulse just for a few minutes. I stop the blade every once in a while, and then I let it go again. And when I stop the blade, I'm just looking for the consistency. Does this look like flour yet? Not quite yet. Let me show you on the overhead, because I really want you to understand you can totally do this in a food processor. You do not have to buy oat flour. while it's available in the store, it can be quite expensive. So here's an easy way to do it. And let me just pull it one more time. Yeah, if you guys have any questions along the way, let me know. Oh, Diane has a question. Hi, Diane. It is cold water you use. It doesn't matter. It's filtered water. That's the most important. It can be room temperature. It can be warm. It can be cold. It doesn't matter. What's important is that it's filtered water to make your vegan egg. Good question. Thank you for asking. All right, so now we have our oat flour. This is just pulverized. It looks just like kind of stone ground flour. This is perfect. To this, you now want to add your leavening agent. I'm going to use baking powder today, just regular double acting baking powder. A half a teaspoon goes right in. And if you are using sea salt and you're enjoying sea salt in your daily diet, I would just recommend about anywhere quarter teaspoon, an eighth to a quarter teaspoon. That's really not a whole lot. I mean, just showing you the consistency of the sea salt. This is super fine, super unprocessed sea salt, the natural. And now those are the dry ingredients. So let's talk about the wet ingredients. Like I said, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to explain the ingredients so that you can put the recipe together. I did it ahead of time. For the wet ingredients, we need the most important superfood of this recipe are tahini. Now, tahini is wonderful. This is tahini, you guys. I'm using organic tahini, which is fantastic. These are white sesame seeds that have been ground into a paste. So just like peanut butter, this is sesame butter, right? Just like almond butter, this is sesame butter. So it's exactly the same thing. This is really good stuff. There's nothing added to it. No oil, no salt, no sugar, no shelf stabilizers. Just tahini just sesame seeds ground into a paste. That's what tahini is. All right, so you can get this in jars like this. Usually it comes in a 10-ounce jar. You will see an oil layer at the very top when you first open it. And the reason for that is because sesame seeds are so full of good fats that oil actually separates. So when it's actually ground up and created in a paste form, and then it sits in a jar, it separates. So the fat comes to the top, fat floats, and all of the solid matter stays at the bottom. Before you use it, you just want to give it a quick stir. So get in there and actually stir your tahini paste with your spoon. And you should have this delicious liquidy tahini, which I'm going to pour onto a plate just so I can show you. Now, the cool thing about tahini, you guys, it's a condiment. It's also a toast spread. It's also really great for baking. You can see it's like super duper silky, shiny. It's so flavorful. It tastes very strong. It has a very sesame flavor. If you are allergic to sesame seeds, this is not going to be your friend, so you can stay away. You can substitute tahini with any other nut butter. The cool thing about tahini, though, is its protein power. In just, excuse me, got stuck in my throat. Sorry about it. In just 2 tablespoons of this stuff, you're going to get 8 grams of protein. That is a ton for a paste, for a nut paste or seed paste. But the birds have it right, as I say. The birds eat a lot of seeds. That's because they're extremely high in protein. And it's going to keep you feeling fueled and filled up for a very long time. So this is good. And then in the oats, only half a cup has 6 grams of protein. And we're using about 1.5 cups for the entire batch of cookies that we're making here. So these are whopping with protein. Right, so you want your tahini paste. I'm going to use 1/4 cup of tahini paste. You're going to do this in a little bowl. Next, you're going to add 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Add that to your tahini paste in your little bowl of wet ingredients. And then you want your plant milk. I'm going to use 1/4 cup of freshly made plant milk. You guys, this is so fresh. You can see like all of the amazing drips of water because it's chilled and it's delicious. This is my coconut cashew plant milk, you guys. If you want this recipe, it's actually the staple recipe included in the cookbook that we're working out of right now. And this is the staple recipe that you'll find at the end of the week. This is wonderful stuff. And I'm telling you, it actually tastes just like regular cow's milk, but it's not. It's made with coconut and cashew. It doesn't taste like either coconut or cashew. It's very similar to regular milk, like animal milk, cow's milk. All right, the next thing that you want is a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm going to show you the one that I use. I'm going to use the alcohol-free vanilla extract. And that's it of the wet ingredients. You mix that together in a bowl. You throw it into the food processor with your oat flour and your baking powder and your sea salt, if that's what you're using, or your salt substitute, and you pulse for a few seconds. That's it. This then I take with the processor top on, and I literally just put this right in my refrigerator. This is my batter. This is going into the fridge. This is going to stay chilled for 25 minutes. And I keep it just right in the food processor so I don't have to dirty another thing, especially if I know that I'm going to bake the cookies off in a matter of 30 minutes or so. Hi, Manisha. Good to see you. So let me show you the batter. When it's chilled and ready to go, it should look like this. It looks like cookie dough. Oh, I forgot to add one ingredient. The macadamia nuts. You want to add macadamia nuts before you pulse it, and you can add as much as you want. I'm just going to use 1/4 cup. And chocolate chips. To say this, semi-sweet chocolate chips are accidentally vegan, meaning they're totally vegan without needing any special thing or having any indicator on the bag. Oh, but I wanted to show you these too. This is what I use, completely cacao chips. These are from Trader Joe's. This is a fairly traded, USDA organic. It's really good stuff. These are unsweetened cacao chips. And let me show you what they look like. I'll just show you on the board. This is what's in. Actually, I think I have to show you on a white plate. This is what is in this bag. These are tiny little cacao drops. And I love these. They're unsweetened though, so just know that you're only gonna, these are very low sugar cookies. So you're only gonna get sweetness from the maple syrup. But you can use regular chocolate chips if you want quality control. How to taste it. Okay. And your flaxseed goes in. And your flaxseed goes on in as well. Tablespoon for each scoop. I'm going to use a scoop here. These are cookie dough scoops or ice cream scoops. They work really well. And I'm just going to do like a little less because I just want about a tablespoon per cookie. You want to actually use a liner. You can use parchment paper or BPA, FDA approved, like I have baking mat. That's what this is. Do you guys see that? You can cut your own size. And you just want to layer them. You guys know this part, right? You can actually layer them by dropping them, or you can actually roll them into balls and they'll be kind of like golf balls. I kind of like the more rustic look where they're just dropped right out of the cookie press or the cookie. What is this thing called? The cookie press is what I meant and what I said, but I don't think that's actually the name. The scooper. Or you can actually do what I did, and you'll see the cookies coming out of the oven look like this. I actually take a spoon. It's a little bit damp, and I literally just go and I press it down. And this is going to prevent it from not baking evenly. It's going to create even bake so that every part of this cookie has a consistent cooked doneness. The edges will be nice and crispy. The inside will be nice and soft. Totally delicious. Now, I'm going to just add a little sugar in the raw or turbinado sugar to the top because I think it's really, really yummy. And it's going to add a sweetness. Like I said, the cookie batter on its own is very low sugar. So I'm just going to sweeten it up by adding a little tiny bit of this sugar in the raw on top. This is totally optional. I know for all my whole food plant-based friends on here, you may not do this. It is raw sugar after all, but you still may not do this because most of you don't eat sugar or salt or oil. I certainly do. Only in moderation though. Although sometimes I eat it more than other times. And I feel like this last month, I've definitely had more sugar than normal, not excessive, but definitely more than normal. And these go right into a 350-degree oven. They take 12 minutes or so to bake off. You can bake them longer if you want them more crispy, but I like them soft. I'm going to put them right in. And now we have some coming out of the oven. Perfect timing. Ta-da. What do you think? These are wonderful. It smells so good. I'm just going to place them right on my cutting board just to pull them off. Ooh, these are hot. Hot, hot, hot. These look really, really, really good. Here's how I would plate them. Maybe on do it on a platter or something, but for right now, maybe just take the prettiest of the pretties. And here you go. Delicious sesame macadamia nut cookies. These have a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of macadamia nut, a little bit of tahini or sesame seed paste. They're really yummy. And I've added just a tad of sugar on top. And I think we need to give this a taste. Cheers. You know what makes these good? Macadamia nuts. I love this combination. It's so darn delicious. I love macadamia nut crunch. There's something about it. You can't replace it with any other nut, right? It's like, it's really crunchy. And then when you get inside, it's kind of soft and almost buttery like that nut. I love the macadamia nut for that consistency, that crunch, and the flavor. And then I love the macadamia nut with the cacao chips or the chocolate chips in your case, if you're not using unsweetened cacao chips like I have. I found those. It's really great. All of this actually tastes great with the sesame seed. The tahini paste is phenomenal. It's really rich. You only need one cookie. That's how rich it is. You can certainly have more. They're kind of guilt-free because there's not a whole lot of ingredients that are going to make you feel terrible. Other than the sugar, remember this is oil-free, gluten-free, dairy-free. It can be salt-free. It can be sugar-free or mildly processed sugar. I mean, maple syrup to me is raw, but these are really, really good. I hope that you guys try this recipe. And if you try it and you make it, let me know what you think. And if you try it and you make it and you change something, let's say you added dried cranberries or you added, I don't know, instead of vanilla extract, orange extract, let me know. I love to hear that you guys are trying these things and making it your own. And this one is definitely something that you'll want to test on your loved ones for sure. So thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been a really fun one. This is week 3 out of my month-long plant-based easy cookbook. This is what we're working out of. We feature almost all of the recipes in here. We leave certainly a few of them, especially the staple recipes for the people that download this cookbook, because it's just a fun experience to leave a little bit for you guys to do at home. Take a look at this page too if you guys have this. This is one of the journal exercises. I always added writing exercise at the end of the week if you're curious. And this is just an opportunity for you to think about, what are the foods that I make this week, and how did it make me feel? What am I noticing with the foods that I'm trying, that I'm enjoying with my loved ones? How is it making me feel emotionally and physically, and all of that? It's really interesting when we get our words down on a page. We sometimes can surprise ourselves with all that we learn. So thank you guys so much. Come back for next week. Next week is week 4 of September, and I'm very excited to start the week with our breakfast recipe. We're going to be making a Greek tofu scramble. It is definitely one you don't want to miss. So I will see you there. Have a wonderful weekend, and ciao for now. Peace.